Vayikra, and He Called. The Book of Leviticus, chapter 1. Now the Lord called Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and thou shalt say unto them, If any of you offer a sacrifice unto the Lord, ye shall offer your sacrifice of cattle, as of beeves and as of sheep. If his sacrifice be a burnt offering of the herd, he shall offer a male without blemish, presenting him of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted to the Lord to be his atonement. And if he shall kill the bullock before the Lord, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall offer the blood, and shall sprinkle it round about upon the altar, that is by the door of the tabernacle of congregation. Then shall he slay the burnt offering, and cut it in pieces. So the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar, and lay the wood in order upon the fire. Then the priests, Aaron's sons, shall lay the parts in order, the head and the caul, upon the wood that is in the fire, which is upon the altar. But the inwards thereof and the legs thereof he shall wash with water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar, for it is a burnt offering, an oblation made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And if his sacrifice for the burnt offering be of the flocks, as of the sheep or of the goats, he shall offer a male without blemish, and he shall kill it on the north side of the altar before the Lord. And the priests, Aaron's sons, shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall cut it in pieces, separating its head and its caul, and the priest shall lay them in order upon the wood that lieth in the fire, which is on the altar. But he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall offer the whole and burn it upon the altar, for it is a burnt offering, an oblation made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. If his sacrifice be a burnt offering to the Lord of the fowls, then shall he offer his sacrifice of the turtle doves, or of the young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring the neck of it asunder, and burn it on the altar. And the blood thereof shall be shed upon the side of the altar. And he shall pluck out his maw with his feathers, and cast them beside the altar on the east part, in the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with its wings, but not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is in the fire, for it is a burnt offering, an oblation made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. Leviticus chapter 2. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, put incense thereon, and shall bring it unto Aaron's sons the priests, and he shall take thence his handful of the flour and of the oil, with all the incense, and the priest shall burn it for a memorial upon the altar, for it is an offering made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. The remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons, for it is most holy of the Lord, offering made by fire. If thou bring also a meat offering baked in the oven, it shall be an unleavened cake of flour, mingled with oil, or an unleavened wafer, anointed with oil. But if thy meat offering be an oblation of the frying pan, it shall be of fine flour, unleavened, mingled with oil, and thou shalt part it in pieces, and pour oil thereon, for it is a meat offering. And if thy meat offering be an oblation made in the cauldron, shall be made with fine flour and of oil. After thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Lord, and shall present it unto the priest, and he shall bring it to the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial of it, shall burn it upon the altar, for it is the oblation made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. But that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons, for it is most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. All the meat offerings which ye shall offer unto the Lord shall be made without leaven, for ye shall neither burn leaven nor honey in any offering of the Lord made by fire. In the oblation of the first fruits ye shall offer them unto the Lord, but they shall not be burnt upon the altar for a sweet savor. All the meat offerings shall also be seasoned with salt, neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from any meat offering, but upon all thine oblations thou shalt offer salt. If then thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer for thy meat offering of the first fruits ears of corn dried by the fire, and wheat beaten out of the green ears. After thou shalt put oil upon it, and light incense thereof, for it is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, even of that is beaten, and of the oil of it, with all the incense thereof, for it is an offering unto the Lord made by fire. Leviticus chapter 3. Also, if his oblation be a peace offering, if he will offer of the drove, whether it be male or female, he shall offer such as is without blemish before the Lord, and shall put his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. So he shall offer part of the peace offering as a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord, even the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards. He also shall take away the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, and upon the flanks, and the caul on the liver, and with the kidneys. And Aaron's sons shall burn it on the altar, the burnt offering, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. This is a sacrifice made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Lord. Also, if his oblation be a peace offering unto the Lord out of his flock, whether it be male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his oblation, then he shall bring it before the Lord, and lay his hands upon the head of his offering, shall kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation, and Aaron's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. After of the peace offerings he shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. He shall take away the fat thereof, and the rump altogether, hard by the backbone, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards. Also he shall take away the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and upon the flanks, and the caul upon the liver with the kidneys. Then the priest shall burn it upon the altar, as the meat of an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Also, if his offering be a goat, then shall he offer it before the Lord, and shall put his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. The sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. Then he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord, fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards. Also he shall take away the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and upon the flanks, and the caul upon the liver with the kidneys. So the priest shall burn them upon the altar, as the meat of an offering made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat is the Lord's. This shall be a perpetual ordinance for your generations throughout all your dwellings, so that ye shall eat neither fat nor blood. Leviticus chapter 4. Moreover the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If any shall sin through ignorance in any of the commandments of the Lord, which ought not to be done, but shall do contrary to any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin, according to the sin of the people, then shall he offer for his sin which he has sinned a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of congregation before the Lord, and shall put his hand upon the bullock's neck, and kill the bullock before the Lord. The priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood and bring it unto the tabernacle of the congregation. Then the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. The priest also shall put some of the blood before the Lord upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation. Then shall he pour all the rest of the blood of the bullock at the front of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take away all the fat of the bullocks for the sin offering, to wit, fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is about the inwards. He shall take away also the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and upon the flanks, and the caul upon the liver with the kidneys, as it was taken away from the bullock, the peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of burnt offering. But the skin of the bullock, and his flesh, and his head and legs, and his inwards, and his dung shall he bear out. So he shall carry the whole bullock out of the host into a clean place, where the ashes are poured, and shall burn him on the wood within the fire, where the ashes are cast out, shall he be burned. If the whole congregation of Israel shall sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the multitude, and have done against any of the commandments of the Lord which should not be done, and have offended, when the sin which they have committed shall be known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the elders of the congregation shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock before the Lord, and he shall kill the bullock before the Lord. Then the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood into the tabernacle of the congregation, and the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil. Also he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before the Lord, that is in the tabernacle of the congregation. Then shall he pour out the rest of the blood at the foot of the altar of burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And the priest shall do with his bullock as he did with the bullock for his saints, so shall he do with this. So the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven them. For he shall carry the bullock without the host, and burn it as he burned the first bullock, for it is an offering for the sin of the congregation. When a ruler shall sin and do through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God, which should not be done, and shall offend, if one show him his sin which he hath committed, then shall he bring for his offering an he-goat without blemish, and shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where he should kill the burnt offering before the Lord, for it is a sin offering. Then the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the burnt offering altar, and shall pour the rest of his blood at the foot of the burnt offering altar, and shall burn all his fat upon the altar as the fat of the peace offering. So the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. Likewise, if any of the people of the land shall sin through ignorance, in doing against any of the commandments of the Lord, which should not be done, and shall offend, if one show him his sin which he hath committed, then he shall bring for his offering a she-goat without blemish for his sin which he has committed. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. Then the priest shall take the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the burnt offering altar, and pour all the rest of the blood thereof at the foot of the altar, and shall take away all his fat, as the fat of the peace offerings is taken away, And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for his sin offering, he shall bring a female without blemish, and shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering. He shall slay it for a sin offering in the place where he should kill the burnt offering. Then the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the burnt offering altar, and shall pour all the rest of the blood thereof at the foot of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb of the peace offerings is taken away. Then the priest shall burn it upon the altar for the oblations of the Lord made by fire, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin that he hath committed, and it shall be forgiven him. Leviticus chapter 5. Also, if any have sinned, that is, if he have heard the voice of an oath, and can be a witness, whether he hath seen or known it, if he do not utter it, he shall bear his iniquity. Either if one touch an unclean thing, whether it be a carrion or of an unclean beast, or a carrion of unclean cattle, or a carrion of unclean creeping things, and is not aware of it, yet he is unclean, and hath offended. Either if he touch any uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be that he is defiled with, and is not aware of it, and after cometh to the knowledge of it, he hath sinned. Either if any swear and pronounce with his lips to do evil or to do good, when he hath sinned in any of these things, then he shall confess that he hath sinned therein. Therefore shall he bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin which he has committed, even a female from the flock, be it a lamb or a she-goat, for a sin offering. The priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. But if he be not able to bring a sheep, he shall bring for his trespass which he hath committed 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. So he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer the sin offering, and wring the neck of it asunder, but not pluck it clean off. After he shall sprinkle the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be shed at the foot of the altar, for it is a sin offering. Also he shall offer the second for a burnt offering. As the manner is, so shall the priest make an atonement for him, for his sin which he hath committed, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that hath sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering, and he shall put none oil thereunto, neither put any incense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it for the remembrance thereof, and burn it upon the altar with the offerings of the Lord made by fire, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his hand of it for the remembrance thereof, burn it upon the altar with the offerings of the Lord made by fire, for it is a sin offering. So the priest shall make atonement for him as touching his son, and that he hath committed in one of those points, and it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be the priest's as the meat offering. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, If any person transgress and sin through ignorance, by taking away things consecrated unto the Lord, he shall then bring for his trespass offering unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flock, worth 2 shekels of silver, by thy estimation, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. So he shall restore that wherein he hath offended, in taking away of the holy thing, and shall put the 5th part more thereto, and give it unto the priest. So the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. Also, if any sin and do against any of the commandments of the Lord, which ought not to be done, and know not, and sin and bear his iniquity, then shall he bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, in my estimation worth 2 shekels, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance wherein he erred, and was not aware, so it shall be forgiven him. This is the trespass offering for the trespass committed against the Lord. Leviticus chapter 6. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, If any sin and commit a trespass against the Lord, and deny unto his neighbor that which was taken from him to keep, or that which was put up to him of trust, or doth by robbery or by violence oppress his neighbor, or hath found that which is lost, and denied it, and sweareth falsely, for any of these things that a man doeth, wherein sinned. When, I say, he thus sinneth and trespasseth, he shall then restore the robbery that he hath robbed, or the thing taken by violence which he took by force, or the thing which was delivered unto him to make the church, or the lost thing which he found, or for whatsoever he hath sworn falsely, he shall both restore it in the whole sum, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto him to whom it pertaineth the same day that he offereth for his trespass. And he also shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flock, in thy estimation worth 2 shekels, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord, and it shall be forgiven him, and whatsoever thing he hath done and trespassed therein.